Hi there, friends. Welcome in. This is Julie with Photofabpaperflowers, and we will get started shortly. So a few minutes for some fabulous creators to join and friends. It's Monday. Welcome in, everyone. Hi there. Welcome in. Happy Monday. We are live on a Monday. Hi, Ernest. Welcome in, everyone. Excuse me. I just ate, so. My goodness. How is everyone? I hope you had a fantastic weekend, and happy Father's Day to all of humans and furry friends, or not so furry friends. But thank you so much for joining. I'm Julie with Photofabpaperflowers, and it is Monday, June 16th, 2025. So we're going live today, and we'll be live again tomorrow for another tutorial, and then I am taking a little bit of time off for myself. Welcome in, Carolyn. Hey, Vanessa. It's a day. Girl, I understand. Happy Monday. You made it through today. We can do it tomorrow, right? We're going to try and stay positive. Tomorrow we have a summer picnic at work, so I'm looking forward to that. I do help out with that a lot, so it should be a lot of fun. And then one more day of work for me till the end of the month. So welcome in again, everyone. We're using Flower Camp 2023. So we made a flower on Friday, I think it was, with Flower Camp 2022. She was stunning, wasn't she? Oh my God, I love her. Love her, love her, love her. So we're moving on to Flower Camp 2023. So tonight we're using template 6. So it comes with 3 templates, and we are using mini flower number 6 from Flower Camp 2023. Okay. So for tonight, we're going to use center 1 as our sepal. Hey, Christy, welcome in. Hello, friends in J Crew. So we're working with our fabulous Flower Camp bundles. We started with 2022 on Friday. Today we're doing 2023 Flower Camp mini flower bundle, and we're closing out the month for tutorials for me with Flower Camp 2024. And then I hope to write your handout while I'm off. All right, so again, we're using template 6 from Flower Camp 2023. Center 1, cut it in green, and you just need 1 at 3.25 inches wide. So all my notes are in blue ink, sorry. For center 4, you need 2 of them at 2.25. Okay. Center 3, you need 2 of them at 5 point. You're going to, I don't know if I had to unlock the image or not. 5.39 inches wide by 1 inch high. Type in the height and the width should automatically adjust. Okay, and they're the rolled center. Then we're using petal 1. So template 6 mini flower comes with 3 different petal styles. So we're going to use petal 1. Okay. And that's this shape. So for petal 1, you're going to cut 3 of them at 3.5 inches wide, 1 at 3.25, 1 at 3 inches, and 2 of them at 2.75. If you type in the widths, the height automatically adjusts. Hola, Maria. All right. So again, we started with Flower Camp 2022 on Friday. Today's Flower Camp 2023. And tomorrow we have Flower Camp 2024. And she's a beauty too for tomorrow. So we're going to get started. Our supplies. So for paper, I am using the Printworks Boho Rainbow. And I used the cream color from there. Okay, that's for my center. Okay. So I'm using the cream. For my pink, I'm using the, the Floral cardstock pack. And I used the pink and the green from here. So pink, and then the green. I do have these in my Amazon storefront. And one of the paper packs, which one had the purple? The Sweet Treats pack was on sale today. And it was like 30-something% off. So I will pin my Amazon storefront. So if you want to check out, I have a whole list for just Printworks paper. I think you'll really like it. I don't know. Did anybody else buy some? Oops. Oh my gosh. Why can't I copy? Hey, Christy. Hi, Sandy. How are you? I know I owe you, Maria. Yes, I'm going to be typing them up. I have them all in a folder, and that's one of my tasks while I'm off, to get caught up on all of that and get the videos onto YouTube. It's a lot of work. I know you're not being pushy. But thank you for asking. All right. And welcome in, Christy. Yeah, I agree. I really like it. So I'll pin I do have, like I said, in my Amazon storefront, a whole section on Printworks paper. All right. So thanks everyone for joining. We're going to go ahead and get started. I did pre-ink a few things. So if Jeanette joined, well, I did wash my hands because I had dinner. I'll get a little bit of Cheeto fingers, as she calls that, from our inking, but you can optionally wear gloves. So our tools today are going to be the plastic half sphere peony mold, our embossing stylus tool. So this can be purchased at your local Dollar Tree. It has 2 different size ends. This one's a little bit bigger, and that's the one I use the most. Our metal ball stylus tool, so they come in a set of 4 with a different diameter on either end. We need our slotted quilling tool. We just need the 1/8 inch purple dowel rod that I do offer in 6-inch and 12-inch sizes, or you can get both of them depending on which starter kit that you purchase. But I'm using the 6-inch size tonight in purple. They're hand colored, so you can easily identify your colors. Our piercing scoring tool, it comes in a pack of 2 at your local Dollar Tree, and this is the wider or thicker end. It's perfect to pierce our holes for our floral stem wire. Pair of needle nose pliers, pair of precision scissors, a piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire, and floral tape is optional. And our SureBonder mini glue gun, which has the foldable stand. I love it. You can get it off of Amazon as well. And I like to use the 8-inch Gorilla glue sticks. I do get them from Amazon as well. And our flower shaping mat. It's a 1/4 inch soft foam mat. So if you do need any paper flower tools, I do offer them in my Etsy shop, so check it out. Tina, hello my friend, welcome in. So if you didn't, Tina made the most fabulous little day bed for her cat, and she's looking for another one out of a doll bed. That was genius, Tina. I loved it, and I'm sure your cat looked like he was super happy, or she, on it. So I love everyone's creativity, seeing your flowers. So again, if you do make something with my templates, be sure to tag me. And thank you for hanging out, whether live or in replay, here on Facebook or on YouTube. Thank you for stopping by. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And happy Monday. What a great way to start our week. We get to hang out together, right? I kind of love it. I prepared yesterday. That was my job, was to design or figure out 2 flowers after I did my chores. And we got them done. Actually had it typed up. I just had to write my notes from filming. So here we are. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I think you had enough time to grab a screenshot until I can type them up. And again, we are using Flower Camp 2023 Template 6. All right. So where should we start? Let's do our inking first. So I always like to put a piece of copy paper down. So we're just using petal 1. There was 3 different petals. And I'm using pink paper. Again, any color will work. Once you see the finish, well, you saw it if you saw my stories or our posts tonight. Depending on your project, this would be a beautiful flower in a bouquet. She's I feel like she's soft and delicate. So she's got some good shape and texture to her yet. So my favorite colors are pink and orange together, and I'm kind of going with my theme of the colors that we've been using for a project. So I'm going to use Crackling Campfire with my pink. I'm going to go in the center in a circular motion. I did get a new finger dabber out. And then I'm just going to blend out just at the base. Okay, and I'm going to do this on both sides. However, when it was on the mat, before I peeled away the negative space, I did ink the other side, okay? Makes it a lot easier. I do all of those petals while they're still on the mat, then I pull the negative space away. Then I go around the edges, and this is totally optional. Maybe you don't want to go around the edges. I go starting from the base out towards the top and around. And now I'm going to come down the opposite side from the base to connect up where I stopped my inking before. And there's only 5 petals, so it doesn't take a really long time. Oh, Christy, yes, you must make a pink and orange mixed arrangement. It is so beautiful. I find it so cheerful sitting here in my craft room. I hate to make something with it, but yeah, it's gorgeous. I have a lot of stem flowers around me right now. So the Crackling Campfire, you're going to do that to all of the petals, okay? Once we have that done, we're going to fan fold. So we're going to kind of do the crinkled peony look. I like the texture that it gives, but it is a process. It doesn't take super long. I folded each petal individually. So with the petal on its side, you're going to bend it forward, crease it, backwards, forward, backwards, forward. And then I just give it a good squeeze. So you can see it's fan folded. Okay, petal on its side, bend it forward, backwards, forward, backward. And you can see I don't think about it. I'm not even actually looking. I'm looking more at the comments. Turn the petal on its side, forward, backward, forward, backwards, forward. And there's only 5 petals on this petal, petal number 1, so it makes it go fast. But the petal, turn it on its side and bend it forward, backwards, forward, backwards, forward, squeeze. How's that for a technique, right? Forward, backwards, forward, backwards, forward. Squeeze. All right, so that's what it looks like after you're done. Then we're going to bring in our flower shaping mat. And this is where I go over it to add some additional texture. We start with the embossing stylus, the larger end or tip. And I just add some vertical lines. I don't go all the way out. Because we inked it, it does make some gray veining, and I don't mind that at all. I just don't really go out to the tips too much when I'm adding just those vertical lines. So I hope you all had a great weekend, fantastic one, a creative one. Okay, after I do the embossing stylus, we fan folded, we do the embossing stylus, I come back through with my metal ball stylus, and I just go back and forth vertically all the way across the entire petal. Again, we're adding that layered of texture. I think that one's it. Okay, so you can see how it changes its appearance. Now for our 3 large ones at 3.5, we're going to take our plastic half sphere mold. The sizes are on the back and they're at the bottom of each of the circles. This is 25, 30, and 35. These are the 3 sizes used. So I'm going to use the 35. We're going to go right up to the edge, press that petal in, and I do take a larger metal ball stylus, and you can just roll it. It takes the shape of the peony mold. So you can see the difference between these and that one. It's going to open it up, but also create that little bit of a cup. Go right up to the edge, press it in, and if it crinkles it more, that's perfect. So if I get a crinkle, I leave it in there. Okay, so you can see that one got crinkly, and that's okay. So for the 3 large petals at 3.5 inches, you're going to do that entire technique. So you're using the 35mm mold. Okay, those are those 3. Then you have one at 3.25. I again inked the center, blended it out, went around the edges on both sides. I fan folded just like we did. I did our embossing stylus. I did the metal ball stylus. And then I still used the 35mm. So you just press it in and stir. So it doesn't matter what size you use of the metal ball stylus to stir in there. Okay. For the 3-inch wide, I again added my crackling campfire, circular motion, blended out, went around the edges. Same technique, both sides. I fan folded, then I did the embossing stylus, back and forth, metal ball stylus, and now I switched to the 30mm, which is the second to the bottom. Okay, you just press it in there and stir. So it's going to give it that little cupped shape. For the last 2, which are 2.75, we're going to keep these on a separate pile. Okay, so we start out again with our crackling campfire. So we'll go through, these 2 are just a little bit different in my inking. Circular motion with the orange, blend it out. Okay, then I go around the edges, so starting at the base, go around the top. Okay, then we come out from the base and meet up where we inked. Inking is totally optional, so totally up to you depending on your project. Now for these, I went a little bit heavier, so I'm just going to add a little bit more of the orange because this is our very center. And now I came back through with a little bit of lumberjack plaid. Lumberjack plaid looks really beautiful on pink if you haven't seen me use that. Circular motion and then blend out. So these last two, I went a little bit heavier with my inking because they're the center. Hey Randa, welcome in. Hey Renee, welcome. All right, now we still do that same technique. So we're going to place the petal on its side, bend it forward, backward, forward, backward. And there's your fan fold, or it looks like a zigzag. Petal on its side, forward, backward, forward, backward. Okay. You can do it super duper fast. Ooh, 2 new peony plants. That sounds fabulous. Forward, backwards, forward. You should go to the Peony Festival in New York by the same place where we go sometimes here in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure. It's Steyr Peonies. You can look them up. But I think it just ended in New York. So once we unfold our fan folding, we're still doing that same technique. The larger end of the embossing stylus, I just add some vertical lines. I don't go all the way up to the top. And I just color back and forth. Again, we're adding texture, layer upon layer of texture. It seems like a lot of steps, but I love the result. I find it relaxing too. And then we're going to go over it with our metal ball stylus. So I color the entire petal back and forth vertically. Okay, so start all the way over at the left edge and just go back and forth with vertical lines, almost like you're coloring it. And then the last step is to take the 25mm, which is the very last one on the large side. Place your petal in there, and then you're just going to stir it with your metal ball stylus. So what happens is it creates that shape, cup shape. Press it in and stir. And if it gets more crinkly, all the better. And that's what it ends up looking like. Ooh, she's so pretty with the pink and orange. And that's how you style the petals. For our sepal, we're going to place that down. I did ink with some forest moss. I did go over the entire sepal. And then I did go around all the edges. So I started at the base, went around, and then I came down the opposite side. And I did that on both sides. Totally optional. Now we're going to take our embossing stylus and we're going to add veining or texture to our leaves. Just like how we do with some of the larger ones. I'm trying to see where we do our, where's the pencil? Trying to draw it similar to our shape. So we're going to draw a line down the center with our embossing stylus. Then I start at the base and I do a line towards the center. Then I come down the opposite side. So I'm going to just do that. I'm using the larger end. Straight line down the center. And then I do my lines. So it's just going to give it some texture. Especially since our petals all have so much texture. So we're using Flower Camp 2023 Template 6 Mini Flower from that bundle. So straight line down the center, and then you do your lines towards that center line. Just like there. Straight line, and I start at the left side at the base, come in at an angle, and come down the opposite side. And how much inking or styling, again, is totally up to you. So now I like to go over mine with a little bit of brown. And I'm just going to brush on the brown over each petal, just to highlight again our veining or embossing the texture. Now I'm going to flip it over and do exactly the same thing, just brush it on. So now you can see it a little bit more. And then lastly, you know, I like a little bit of purple. So Seedless Preserves is one of my favorites. And I just randomly add it. So maybe we add it at the top on one of the petals. Maybe you do it more at the bottom. Flip it over and I do exactly the same thing. Everything's very random. It's whatever your choice is that you like. Now we're going to take our purple 1/8 inch dowel rod. Okay, they're color coded purple. We're going to place it down the middle of the petal, pinch it up with your thumb, let go, and roll it between your fingers. So it's going to create a curl. Sometimes you can go at an angle. It's completely up to you. I mean, it's very random. It's our sepal. It's going to be underneath our flower. So pinch it up with your thumb, let go, and roll. You have me back-to-back nights. So today is June 16th, 2025, and we'll be live again tomorrow. And then I have some vacation time. It's going to be a staycation, I think, unless I do a couple little day things. Or head to the beach for a day or 2 or 3. Not sure yet. I'm a last minute girl. All right, so for our rolled centers, which are center number 3, we have 2 of them at 5.39 inches wide by 1 inch. So we went over those. So for one of them, I'm going to add a little bit more color. While they were on my Cricut mat, I lightly brushed on some crackling campfire. Very, very lightly. So we're just going to go a little bit heavier. And you only have to do it on the tips. Just be careful. These are delicate. But you don't want everything colored in completely. You want that tonal variation. Why do I always pick the same color paper that we're working with? Flip it over And we're going to add again a little bit of the crackling campfire to coordinate with our petal color, which we chose a pink color. As you know, I love pink, so you get a lot of pink around here. And then this one's going to be my very center. So again, I wanted to go a little bit heavier with my inking. I'm going to add a little bit of lumberjack plaid. Again, randomly, I'm not going to do all, I just want a little bit of coloring. Okay, so have some fun with it. Play around, experiment. You can use marker if you don't have any inks, pastel chalks. It's completely up to you. Okay, so now for these two rolled centers, bring back your flower shaping mat. We're going to take the larger end of the metal ball stylus. And for each of these little round pieces, you're going to roll it in a circular motion. So it's going to be like a little teaspoon, little cupped shape. The larger ones and the smaller. Circular motion on each. We don't want them to be flat. They're temperamental, the little ones, so just be patient. You can see I'm holding them with my finger so they don't all move around. And you can see the results. Okay, so we did that to both. I'm going to add a little bit of brown. I'm going to zoom out again. A little bit of brown to the edges. So when I hold them, I'm just going to brush it lightly. So by having the cream colored base, we can play around with the different coloring. You could also use white or another color. So yeah, this is where let your creativity go wild, friends. So now you can see the difference. I only added a little bit of orange, very lightly. I added a little bit of red by brushing it on the tips and a little bit of brown. And same way on the back. So I did that same technique with embossing stylus, circular motion all the way down. I just made my very center one a lot more color to it. Oh, now it's getting hot in here. It was very cold and rainy here today. It was awful. For our center 4, we cut 2 at 2.25 inches wide by 2.62 high. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit more ink. My embossing stylus rolled off the desktop. So for this, I still did a little bit of crackling campfire. I did it in the center even though you don't see it that much. I don't know why. Brush out. Okay, so again, it's just highlighting the different shapes. Flip it over and do exactly the exact same thing. Circular motion and blend out. Or maybe you don't want to ink at all. Maybe you could do a different color. Make it ombre or brown. Completely up to you. And now I'm also going to add a little bit of red, because again, these are our center. So I'm kind of just brushing it on over the tips, because that's what you're going to see. I had to use a new mat, so be careful when you pull these off on a new mat. I do cut my Printworks cardstock mostly on the light cardstock setting. One color I did have to switch to the light cardstock plus. And then I like a little bit of brown. So I brush that over everything. Hey Sharon, how are you? Welcome in. We're using Flower Camp 2023 Template 6 Mini Flower to create a flower. Since Friday, we did Flower Camp 2022, and tomorrow we're going to do Flower Camp 2024 flower. Okay, so now we're also going to, I don't think we have any more inking. Bring back our flower shaping mats. And again, with all these little round pieces, I'll zoom in for you. Thanks for taking the ride. We're going to use the larger end of the embossing stylus. Hold it down with your finger and circular motion on each round part of the center, the tip. Okay. Circular motion. For those of you who your hair gets affected by humidity, oh my goodness. My hair is wavy now at the end of the day when it was straight at the beginning. All right, so now you can see how it created that cup shape. And I did that to both of those. Okay, probably didn't. I'll just go over some of these. When I inked it, flattened it out a little. Hope you're loving all of my tutorials lately, and I'm inspiring you to create some flowers. I do have some new templates. I do need to get everything filmed. Oh my goodness, are we ready? Almost. And we're back out. So we're going to start with our 2 center 3s, which are our rolled centers. I inked one heavier, so we're going to start with that. With the curve facing towards you, meaning this is the side we did our embossing stylus on. Okay, because I want them to be curved in. I'm trying to think. Yeah. So we're going to thread one end into the slotted quilling tool. This is the hardest part. I usually have to come down into the center, and then you can just slide it near the end. Okay. Once we have it in there, we're going to roll it a few times towards you, keeping the bottom right edge aligned. So be careful, this is super thin. Wait, did I turn my glue gun on? Add some glue and keep rolling it towards you. I'm going to add a little bit more glue. Again, roll it towards you, keeping that bottom edge aligned, and secure the end. Okay. Now what should be, all the little ones end up kind of being in the center. You can see them in there. Now we're going to add glue. This time we're going to flip it so the curve is facing away from you, okay? We're going to add glue to make at least one rotation around. We're going to go to where the last one ended, and you're going to overlap slightly. Carefully roll it, keeping that bottom edge aligned. And then we're going to add more glue. Roll it towards you, keeping that bottom right edge aligned. And then secure your end with hot glue. Okay, so now we have our rolled center ready. We're going to remove it from the slotted quilling tool and set it down. And bring in our flower shaping mat, and we work from largest to smallest. The two smallest are petal 1 are 2.75 inches, so we're just going to set them here with our centers. We're going to flip our large stack over. We're going to pull one of our 3.5 petals off the stack and set that to the side. So you're going to have a pile with the sepal and one of the 3.5. The two 2.75 are sitting here, and center 3 and 4 are here. Okay, so now we have a 3.5 inch and another 3.5 inch. Okay, we're going to roll the center just a little bit with our metal ball stylus. Add some glue to the bottom. We're going to look, this is a Y. We have an upside down Y, so we're going to place that petal in between the previous layers and press. Going to rotate it. Now our 3.25 inch, we're going to assemble under. So that means my curve is under. Place it flat down. Roll it with your metal ball stylus right around where the petals meet the base. Add some hot glue. Hi Jeanette, how are you? Thanks for joining. Hola. Look at your top two petals, look at a petal and bring it straight down. Now our petal size changed, so you just want to be aware of that. And then our 3 inch is, we're going to assemble it with the petals up. So just roll it right where the petals meet the base. Add some glue. We're going to look at our top two petals. We're going to look at a petal and bring it straight down. I like to stand if you're new here. I'm standing this entire time. All right, now we're going to create our center with the rest of them. So it's just going to sit there for the moment, time being. So we have our 2.75. I am going to take a pair of precision scissors and we're going to make a slight little cut in between. It's mostly for the very center one, but you can do both. Just cut in towards the center, just don't cut your petals off. So it's about 1/8 of an inch of a cut, a tiny cut. So we're going to set those two here. Oops, I'm sorry, there. We have our rolled center, and then we have our 2 center 4s. Okay. So now we're going to take our metal ball stylus. You're going to roll the center. And then we're going to roll these right in the center. So it closes up like a peony. Oh my God. When there's ink, sometimes it doesn't like to roll very well. All right. So now we're going to add glue. I'm going to add glue around the center or the sides a little, that little flat area. Just watch your fingers, friends. We're going to choose one of them. I went a little bit heavier. I'm going to do that one. Place it right in the center. So it looks like that. Oops. Fold it up and around. I'm going to squeeze around the bottom. We're going to add glue. Place it in the center again. Fold it up and around. And so you have all those different variations of color. Thank you so much, Jeanette. I have just a little bit of Cheeto fingers. We need a shirt with that on, don't we? All right, now we're going to add glue. And I'm going to just come around to the very, very edge. I'm going to place it down in the center. That's probably the hardest part. Believe me. Fold it around and we're just going to press. I'm going to add some glue. I'm going to look at the back here so you can see in between my two petals. I'm just going to look at one of my petals. Place it directly on the back. So that petal went in between those two. Hold it a second and then you can just gather it around. Very similar to a peony. Okay, now we're going to add some glue and pop her in the center here. So we're going to look at one of our petals, place it in between. So bring it straight down. She's so pretty. All right, look at her. All right, let's take our 18 gauge floral stem wire. So at this point, you should have a 3.5 inch and the sepal. So we are going to cut my wire in half so I don't poke you in the eye. So we're going to take our end, place it of our wire in between your needle nose pliers. I do squeeze it quite hard. We're going to bend it around like a shepherd's hook. Okay, place it back in your needle nose pliers. Give her a squeeze, straighten her out. Place it back in the needle nose pliers, bend it 90 degrees like a corner. Voila! It's magic. All right, so now we are going to flip our 3.5 inch petals so they are under. You're going to use your piercing scoring tool and poke a hole. From the top with the petals rolled under, thread it onto your floral stem wire. Okay, so you can see they're curved under like an umbrella, which we need that a lot lately, don't we? Add some glue on the bottom of that wire. Pull it straight up so it attaches. And we're going to hold it there for a second. How are you all doing, friends? Everybody staying safe, healthy? Sending prayers to our friend Florist the Explorers and Forever Petals by V as they headed for their second opinion and their second visit. So we love you both and miss you mucho. Okay. Once we're sure this is dry, almost, we're going to add more glue to the top here because we're going to attach them. So when we attach it, we're going to look at our top 2 petals. You're just going to choose one petal and bring it straight down in between. So you're still doing that same technique, but just from the opposite way. So we're going to add glue to our center circle. And I'm just going to come out just a little bit on each of those little stemmies, that bottom part. Okay, so we have our flower flipped over. I'm looking at the Y here. I'm going to bring it straight down in between. It's the same size. So we're just going to press it in the center to make sure it attaches. Click. Make sure you press on those little stems where we added the glue. We're going to try not to move it until I know it's adhered. I like to add them afterwards because it gives it a nice shape. Always look, this is why we ink from the center out, blending it. Look at her from the side, the shading that it provides. Oh, she's so pretty. She's kind of like rose, like a rose. Do we make a rose with this template? Trying to think. All right, with the petals of the sepal under, we're going to pierce a hole in the center again. Pop. We're going to thread it onto the floral stem wire. You can pull them down so that they are under. Okay. Now I do need to fold my stand up. Now this is not as wide as the bottom, so I'm just going to try and stay closer to my floral stem. Okay, thread it straight down. I am using 1 today. You can definitely use 2. Completely up to you. Oh, thank you so much, friends. Thank you, Jeanette, Christy, and Christy. She is beautiful, isn't she? I think she'd be gorgeous in a bouquet. She's got nice shape, good texture. So I'm not going to move her too much, but we are going to bring back our floral tape, since I did add tape to my other one. I need to order more. I have to make sure I get this color. Pull to activate it was probably too much. I'm going to start down a little bit further just to get it started. Wrap it. Once I have it wrapped, I have to twirl with my right hand because I'm right-handed and pull at an angle. Now what you can do is, always get little gnats. Slide it all the way up to the top, to the very base. And then you can just keep wrapping all the way down at an angle. This colorway would be super duper pretty in a wedding arrangement. And then I like to add a little walnut stain to my, just because this is a little bit brighter, so I try and match. Looks like I ate Cheetos today, but I had a little bit of cashews and with seasoning. Now it's all over my shirt. Like, what is the dust on me? On my black shirt, you know. Hi, Erica. How are you? And there we have our Flower Camp 2023 template 6 flower. So again, this is a different flower than before that we made during that Flower Camp and afterwards. She is stunningly gorgeous. So imagine a bouquet with her. And then we're going to add in our flower tomorrow, you'll see. But with Fridays, so we made this on Friday. Look at the colorway. It's so beautiful. So again, how you can mix them in. Oh gosh, she's so pretty. So here we went heavier with the inking at the tips. It's the same pink paper we started with. But this time I went inking from the center out and how well they coordinate together. And the different shapes. So she's a lot more softer. This is pointier. So again, how we can mix them all together. Oh, sorry, I poked you in the eye. I was just saying, maybe with the tulip, super pretty. So we made these. So yeah, mix all your flowers together. I kept the story way very similar. You could still add in the purple. But whatever, she is gorgeous, and I hope I can inspire you to make a paper flower this week. We'll be back live tomorrow. Again, we are finishing out the month early because I'm taking some time off. So thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for all your sweet comments, for hanging out with me live or in replay. Again, I am Julie with Photofabpaperflowers, and it is June 16th, 2025. We will be back tomorrow, June 17th, 2025, for another tutorial. So stay tuned, and I hope you can hang out with me. And until I get everything typed up, there are your sizes. Again, I went over them at the beginning, and I hope I can inspire you to make a paper flower. And have a great rest of your evening, and we will talk tomorrow night.